Welcome everyone back to North to Prem. In today's episode, we have our first two games in the Championship. We're at home to Millwall and then we're away to Brentford as we kick off Season 5 of North to Prem. So if you didn't see the last episode, obviously we had our Season 5 transfer special, our first proper transfer special with Lincoln. If you're not caught up on the series, we joined Lincoln in a relegation scrap from League 2 Peterborough Sports after taking them up from the National League North all the way to top of League 2. We were flying, we then got the job offer, we moved across, did the Great Escape, and then the last episode, was the transfer special. So we've done obviously a lot of business in January, but we've done even more business in this proper summer transfer window. So this is the team that we've got for our opener against Millwall. It's Bajic in goal, a back four of Sorensen, Osho, Viagra and Harmon. Harmon, the only one there in the back five making his debut. Debuts in midfield for Munoz and is it Andrew Morin? Andrew Morin, yep. And then our attacking players, we've got Sarmiento, Little Franco Gonzalez and Nico Paz making his debut. And then Enzo, still not sure how to pronounce it because he's French, but his name looks Italian. I'm just going to call him Crivelli, Enzo Crivelli. I'm going to call him Crivelli. If I'm wrong, someone let me know. Enzo, not that I'll see it because I do these quite ahead of time. I do these in bulk, but there you go. Enzo Crivelli up top. We are missing Munoz, who is not the. I've just realised we've got two Munozes. We've got one. João Munoz is Ecuadorian 19-year-old midfielder, and then we've got Daniel Munoz, who is a Colombian 31-year-old right back. So two players very much on the other side of their career, but he is going to miss a couple of months with a really bad injury again. And we've got Silvera, who's currently on his way out of the club. The rest of the bench looks like this: Alfie Devine, Ross Chalmers, Will Fish, all debutants as well as Set Fit, our backup goalkeeper. So all of these getting their first time in the Lincoln squad. A couple of them are definitely not fit enough to start, as we need to give Alfie Devine a number. Will Fish has been injured all pre-season, so he's obviously not ready to go. He'll need to be introduced into the squad in time. He's not even back to full training yet, so it'll be a couple of weeks probably till we see him. Maybe he'll come on off the bench in the Brentford game, but I really doubt it. We need to get his fitness up first before we can do anything. But Osho, he's okay. He kind of lost his place last year anyway, so he's definitely not the one we want to go with. But we do have a very, very, very difficult second game against Brentford. So realistically, this is the game we want to be getting something from, even if it's just a point, because the board do expect us to avoid relegation this year, and that's probably easier said than done, but maybe not, because we do have a penalty, and Crivelli was the player who won it, and I think he's going to be the player to take it. No, it's not. It's Gabriel Osho, the centre-back. I mean, why? I need to go in and make sure after this game I need to check our penalty takers, because I don't know why our centre-back is taking penalties, but he's absolutely smashed it top corner, so I'm not going to complain. It's Lincoln 1, Millwall 0, and we need to see how some of the debutants are going to play, because obviously we've got a couple in the squad, and we have just kind of thrown them in because, I mean, we are a little bit light on players. We've done okay. Sarmiento there does really well. He is actually out of contract at the end of the year. He is someone we're trying to tie down, but he wants a ridiculous fee at the minute. So it's going to be quite the... he's going to have quite the season to justify the wage that he wants. But it is 2-0. And I mean, this is excellent. We're looking much, much better than we were last year. I think the good thing is we've gotten all the rotten apples out. And we've got a team that actually works. We've got a team that is actually championship quality, as Jonathan Viagra there gets on the end of a corner. I mean, Nico Paz, he looks like an excellent sign, and already 2 assists for him in the first game. And Millwall have really, really struggled here. I mean, it's 3 goals from 3 set pieces. I know, well, penalty is kind of a set piece, but it doesn't really get referred to it. But I'm pretty sure both goals came from corners as well. So if that's how we're going to get our goals this year, that's fine by me, as long as we make them count. As little Franco Gonzalez there does really well in the press. Unfortunately, he loses out on the ball, but Nico Paz already learning how we want to play. We are a pressing side. We like to win the ball high up. We don't like long build-ups. We like to get it, win the ball high up with the high press, the high line. As Munoz gets on the ball from deep, and his effort is wide of the post. He's not someone I'm expecting a lot of goals from. Technically, outside of the tackle, he is a little bit of a poor player, but he is only 19. He's got massive potential, so that's really what we're banking on. But Will Fish, I mean, he definitely doesn't just come into the side. I think we were probably thinking he would, but if we start really well, there's no guarantee that he'll just come right in the side, as Munoz wins the header, but it is a little bit it's a little bit weak, and it did allow Millwall to try and get in front there. But we do, with a bit of spell of possession from Millwall, get the ball back, and Nico Paz bursting down, well, I won't say bursting, but travelling right down the left-hand side, finds Andrew Moran, who curls one past the goalkeeper. It's 4-0 in the first half. We look a much, much better side than we did last year, and I was thinking avoiding relegation is something we can definitely do. I am expecting us to finish mid-table. The media prediction is mid-table. We usually, so far, have outperformed our media expectation. And I wouldn't expect that to change too much, though there is quite a strong championship here. Millwall might just be a bad side. We're definitely not going to read too much into this because we are absolutely running away with it. But like I said, we won't read too much into it. As Munoz picks it up for Andrew Moran. He had a really good goal to curl it round the Millwall goalkeeper. But that time, his effort was really quite poor, and he doesn't manage to make anything of it. But on the 55th minute, we will pause the game and just make a couple substitutions. We've got some players who probably need to make an impact. Josh Coburn hasn't really been up to stuff since we came in. Scored some important goals, though, in the run-in, so we'll bring him on for a bit, and then I think after another 10 minutes, we'll bring one or two more on as well, as we look very comfortable in this game. So it'll be good to get some of the better players off and to give chances to some of the more squad players, because I think, based on what we've seen, this 11 looks strong, and it looks like an 11 I'm not going to touch too much. We don't want to make changes for the sake of it. I think Will Fish will eventually find his way into the 11, but he needs to build up his fitness. But I think that front four that we've picked, I think that works really well. I'm not sold on Crivelli yet. I don't think we've really seen anything from him too much, but he was probably, as Nico Paz gets our fifth, he's a starter. He's a guaranteed player, and we will make a couple more changes there with that in mind. So we'll bring Ross Chalmers, we'll give him his debut. We'll bring a B-Ray on the left. And you know what? We'll just change the front four entirely. We'll bring a Baldo on as well. And we'll probably save the last sub for another 10 minutes time. I think that's how I'd like to do my subs at this level when you get 5 subs, 3 stoppages. I'd like to bring one on in the 55th, a couple on, one or two on each time, 1 or 2 on in the 55th, the 65th, and then the 75th. But a B-Ray does really well there to find Coburn, who's absolutely wiped out by the Millwall player. It's a straight red card, and I'm not surprised. He's absolutely clattered him from behind. But we are actually top of the table at the minute. I wouldn't expect anyone else to be winning 5-0, so it's not really a surprise, as we do obviously want to get as many goals as we can, because we don't know how much we're going to have results like this season. I wouldn't expect us to be winning most games like this, because there is some very, very tough opponents, but Millwall perhaps have had a very poor window, as Josh Coburn there opens his account for the season, and he will hopefully have a much better season this year, because I think he only scored the 6 last year, but those were all under me. So I won't judge him too harshly, because he did. We'll just let this highlight play out before we make our last change. But he did do a little bit better when he was under us, as Coburn does really well defensively there. And he's definitely not someone who's lost his place. If he wanted to play well, he could definitely find his way back in the side. Again, I'm not convinced by Crivelli, as Ross Chalmers off the bench on his debut gets his first goal. This might be a hell of a game, as we'll bring Kento on, who can play either defensive midfield role. I'm only going to take Munoz off because he just picked up a yellow. But Ross Chalmers there with a very nice finish to open his account. Christian Abire also off the bench getting the assist. This is the perfect start. You couldn't ask for much more than this. And the fact that I think Abire there whips it into Chalmers' back post. Can't really do anything with it. But Kento picks it up off the bench, plays it to Ross Chalmers, who's brought down in the box, but the referee doesn't give a penalty. I thought it might have just been given there, but Osho, who can play right back, is moving down the right there, but it's cleared by Millwall, and it will allow them to get a counter. It's a good ball over the top as Millwall run through, and it's a bit poor from Bajic there, because I think he actually got a touch onto it, but it does go in the back of the net. And that was just a little bit poor from the back line there, that we've just let them in there when we've been really so comfortable. But I guess we don't have to play the clean sheet bonus. That's a positive. If we do have a corner, as Abaldo plays it after Harmon, who is the left back, but he's on the right hand side, who does really well to just come in on his own. I think there wasn't really much on, so he's just had to go himself, but it goes wide. And I don't think we'll have too many results like this, because like I say, it is a very strong championship this year, and Coburn is definitely not someone who is out, like I was saying, he's not out of the squad. He just didn't do very well last year, but his best games were under me. So maybe we can get him firing. As Ubaldo, we're just keeping hold of the ball nicely here as Osho looks for an option, doesn't find one, so he has to go. Thought he was going to go back, but he actually turns it around the corner. And we do have Sorensen, who whips it in for Coburn, whose effort is just a little bit wayward, and it goes wide of the Millwall goal. But I'm very happy with this. 12 shots on target in any game, even if we don't score 7. That's a very, very good return. And I think we've done very well here, and I think it gives us a lot of food for thought because, I mean, the starting 11 was good and the bench was good. So Coburn probably had a better game than Crivelli, but the other 3 probably had a better game than the 3 who came on. But they all scored and assisted. I think there's only Ubaldo who didn't do that, right? I mean, goals for Sarmiento, for Paz. Pretty sure, I can't remember who played in the middle now. Franco Gonzalez, I'm pretty sure he got an assist. So, yeah, not sure. But very, very good. Very, very, very good performance. Nico Paz looks a level above. He looked really good in that game. And I mean, he's only a youngster. Got him on a 3-year deal. And I think the big difference is that the quality of players is just so much higher. We've just managed to move on so many of those players who were only shown as League One quality. I mean, a 3-star player for us now is still a decent championship player. Before, a 3-star was like a good League One player. So it shows how much we've upgraded the squad. And yeah, there's still work to do. Of course there is. But I think we've done really well. I think the bench is, as you can see from the star rating, is a little bit of a drop-off from the starting 11. Obviously, if you put Fish in for Osho. But I think it's not too far off. And at least, the bench players are still, like I say, decent championship players. I mean, he's 3 in good championship there. But he's got an opening goal as well, which is really good. So our next game is Blackburn, I think. Yeah, Blackburn away in the League Cup. We'll play that off camera and then we'll come back for Brentford, who, how did they get on their first game? They beat Barnsley 2-1. So, yeah, not a bad result. They're off to a good start like we are, but we're top of the league. We are top of the league. So for our second game of the episode, we are away to Brentford. We do have a couple bits of business to talk about first. So our midweek game against Blackburn went really well. We progressed in the Carabao Cup to the second round where we'll play Bolton, not too long after playing them in the league as well. So 3-0 win there, goals from Moran and 2 from Crivelli, who's obviously clearly trying to nail his place down in the side. We obviously, I didn't rotate. I don't like to rotate for the first game in the Carabao Cup just because the season's new and I want to see what the players are about, and I also don't want to get off to any bad results because I want to get the dynamics as good as possible, as high as possible, as quickly as possible, and getting wins against teams who usually do rotate, and they probably did. They got a man sent off really early, which made it a bit of a cakewalk for us. We didn't really put out too much, but we did win 3-0, which was good. We've also made a couple signings as well, so we can now welcome into the side Ricky Dalawal. He was the left back who can also play right back. I mean, he's right-footed, so he's probably more of a right back anyway, but he's someone who can play on either side. He's going to be our second choice right back and left back. He joins us on a season-long loan from Arsenal. We're paying him $8,000 a week when he plays, and I think $12,25 a week when he doesn't. So perfectly fine. He spent last year out on loan in League One for Portsmouth, getting a couple games there, but he does look a really good player, so I'm surprised no one's been interested in him. He did actually reject moves from West Brom and Middlesbrough to join us, so that just shows us how much we've progressed. And then the final signing we've made, and probably will be the final signing we'll make in the window, is Petar Lušijan. I'm just going to call him Vardiol. Vardiol is an 18-year-old Croatian. He joins us from HNK Gorica, not sure, in Croatia. He's been obviously playing really well there, scored 13 goals from what I assume is attacking mid, because he can play up front, but he is very much more of a in behind. He can also play on the left. He can play up front if we needed him to, but I think he's much more of an advanced playmaker. He looks okay. His mentals are actually really good for a player of his age. His physicals are quite good. Technicals as well. He probably needs to improve a little bit, but he looks really good. He joins us on a 3-year deal on $6,000 a week. We did have to promise him he'd be a star player. He probably will be our starting player, but obviously he's going to have to work his way into the squad. He's only 18. He's got potential to improve as well. So I think he's a really tidy signing on $2.1 million. And it's really good now that we're actually at a club where we can actually pay money. Finances are looking very healthy. We've got 14 mil in the bank, so I'm not worried about the finances at all. In terms of outgoing, Samuel Severo did leave on a permanent, so he's went to Italy, and then just another one of our youngsters went out on loan. All of that means is we do have a little bit too many players in the attacking options. I've tried to offer a Baldo and a B-Ray out. No one seems to be interested in them. I've offered the agent out. I've both offered them out on the transfer room as well. So we'll see if anything comes of that. But it doesn't seem like anyone wants them. We just have too many players. So it'll be good to move one on. The one that we are also trying to move on is Ross Chalmers. We're just trying to get a loan for him. If we could find a loan for him, then we'll probably play Vardiol as our attacking mid, a Baldo, is probably our right mid, and then a B-Ray as the left mid, and then obviously Franco Gonzalez will probably get dropped out for Vardiol. So that probably means we've got one too many in the attacking mid, because obviously a few of these can play pretty much anywhere. B-Ray can play anywhere across the three. A Baldo can also play anywhere across the three. Russ Chalmers can really only play on the right, so he's probably the least versatile that we've got. And even though obviously he came on and scored, he's probably only a League One player at the minute. He's only a youngster though, so I'm assuming he'll get better. If we can find a permanent transfer, the reason why I wanted a permanent transfer is because it's actually worth a little bit of money. So if we could bring anything like that in, anything close to those kind of fees in, we'd definitely sell, because we're be able to buy more youngsters like Vardiol. So we'll see. If not, we'll loan Chalmers out and we'll use them because they're all good players. So both of those lads end up on the bench today. Dalawal probably needs to get fit. He's probably not going to be starting any games realistically anyway. We're quite happy with Harmon and Sorensen, so there's no real reason to play them. And we're just going to go with the same team that played the first two games, so no changes there. Will Fish still coming back from his injury, so he doesn't get anywhere in the side. Probably not going to come off the bench. We do have a friendly after this, and a couple of players, including him, are getting halves of football just to get their fitness up. So hopefully they can get some fitness there. But we do have a pretty tough second fixture here. Obviously, Brentford, newly relegated, expected to win the league. And looking at their side, I'm not surprised. They have a very, very strong side. The likes of David Raya, who's apparently a world-class goalkeeper playing in the Championship. Hickey, Aya, I think I saw Ivan Toney still there. So it's a very strong Brentford side and a very familiar Brentford side as well, which might be the reason why they're not doing so well and why they have gotten relegated, because they don't look to have added too much. You've still got Damsgaard there, Mbuemo, Pinnock. I think Sambi Lakonga was already there. But there you go. Raya must have came back to the club. Was Raya at Brentford before he went to Arsenal? Or did it? Maybe I might be playing. I think he was only on loan, wasn't he? So I think with the squads I've got, he'll have only been on loan, and they obviously probably didn't sell him after that loan. But there you go. We've got off to a good start, so there's no reason to come into this game thinking we're going to get leathered, but we are a little bit up against it, especially away from home. But Franco Gonzalez whips it in, but it's cleared from Brentford. Jeremy Sarmiento, the former Brighton man, picks it up. It was really well to work his way in the box, but nothing comes of it. Falls to Andrew Moran, who absolutely smashes it to get his third goal of the season. I really wasn't expecting this level of output from Andrew Moran. He really only looked like okay, but he seems to be a regular goal scorer so far, and he does put us 1-0 up in what is essentially a game now. If we win this, we are definitely setting ourselves up as playoff contenders, because and definitely going for a playoff push as world-class goalkeeper. Oh, I can't believe it. World-class goalkeeper in air quotes. David Reyes spills it, but Crivelli, with basically an open net, couldn't finish it. He scored 2 against Blackburn, so I know he's got quality. I've seen it now. But that was definitely not good. But we do have an effort there. And again, Bajic, it was straight at him, very similar to the Millwall goal. And that one was obviously over his head, but this one kind of straight at him, and he's just kind of parried it into his own net. And that's the last thing we want to see. Nico Paz getting an injury does force us into our first change. And I've actually not brought anyone. I've actually left a B-Ray on the bench, and he's probably the one I should have been putting on the bench. Probably should have dropped Chalmers. Do we bring Vardiol on? He's not really quick. I don't really think he's a left winger. Left attacking mid. Who's the next best option? You tell me, game. You tell me. I guess it is. Well, it's Vardiol or Baldo. Yeah, we'll go with Baldo. I just think he's a bit quicker, isn't he? Yeah, he's a bit quicker. I think he's better as a winger. More of a goal scorer as well, as I think Vardiol probably won't be. But it is 1-1, and that's a little bit disappointing because we were doing well, and it's a shame to get such an injury to a key player. Hopefully, it's not a bad one, because Nico Paz looks like he's going to be a terrific player for us at this level. Him and Sarmiento on the wings is such a strong combo now. We are dropping like flies, and this might be the reason why you should rotate your team for the EFL game, the EFL Cup games. It's not the EFL Cup, is it? It's the League Cup. What am I talking about? The Carabao. Maybe that's why. But we'll bring Coburn on, who did really well against Millwall as well. And Millwall were actually sniffing around Coburn in the window, but never actually made an offer. And oh my God, there's another injury. And this is where I have to be clever because, I mean, we're already at 3 substitutions now. And I can't make another one. We'll bring Vardiol on for his debut. But do we bring anyone else on? Because we don't really have another opportunity to bring players on. I'm just wondering, do we bring Kento on for Munoz? Maybe he's not having the best game. I bring Dhaliwal on for his debut. I'm going to bring him on for Harmon. Do I want to bring... I'm just thinking about Kento. Bring Kento on as well. No, I'll leave Kento off. I'll trust in Munoz. I know he's a young player, but we'll bring Dhaliwal on, which is a very fun name to say. We'll bring him on for his debut because Harmon not having the best game. But this is a tough fixture. So if we just walk out with this with a point, I'm still a very, very happy manager. But Brentford do counter on the corner, but Sarmiento works really hard and then just gives it away. And this is what I mean. It's just that's the lack of quality we've got versus their quality. They're a Premier League side. You look across their team and you look at the reports on them. They're all Premier League players. As Lewis Potter does really well to get through, and I think it was Dhaliwal got past, which is not a good sign for him. But Sarmiento picks up the ball. Can he show that Premier League quality we were talking about? No. Gives it away again. And I'm sure Damsgaard was offside there, but it wasn't given. And he breaks it in the box and he plays it through to Mbuemo. It's Brentford 2, Lincoln 1. And maybe this is just a step too far for us at the minute. We have had a couple injuries in the game, which has definitely made us worse. But maybe this kind of opponent is just a step too far for us. But we don't look a million miles away, even if we don't get a point here. I will say we don't look a million miles away as Osho picks up the ball, tries to play it back into one of the attackers, but it's looked like a dodgy moment there from Brentford, but Dhaliwal does well to just get in front. But again, it's just that lack of quality, just heading it back into an area rather than to a specific player. But Sarmiento, he might not have the quality of a Premier League player, but he's got the work rate for one. But Moran loses the ball in the middle, and I just think we're just getting... just that quality that we don't have is just showing its head here as Coburn picks up the ball really well. And there's a couple options in the middle if he can find one. I'm not really sure what happened there. He played it in. It just kind of got blocked. But we do have a corner now. A Baldo to take it on the left-hand side. Whips it in. Can anyone get there? We did really well from corners in the Millwall game, but we don't look like we're going to score anywhere near 7 today with just 20 minutes left, and we are a goal behind. We do want to get... I mean, if we get something from this game, even a draw, that's a very good result. And Moran does really well. And then this is what I mean, the quality, the effort's there. The effort's there and the willing to press is there. We're doing really well and we are winning the ball in good areas, which is very promising to see. And against weaker opposition, we probably do better with that. Dhaliwal. How big is Dhaliwal? I didn't realise he was that big. Looks really big. Munoz, with a couple of players around him, but does well just to play it through to Moran, who plays it through. And Vardiol, well, I thought he was going to get his first assist for the club there. Played it in, but it was just cleared before Coburn could get on the end of it. But we do look like we can get something here as Ubaldo plays it into Vardiol. Can he do something? Back to Ubaldo. Whips it in. Sarmiento! Oh, it's at the crossbar and it's been cleared by Brentford. And I think we might just, like I say, we're just that little bit of quality away from a team like Brentford, who are probably expecting to win the league. And they are looking to come forward once again. Lewis Potter, and that's what I mean. We have chance after chance after chance, can't convert it. They get their one chance, and Mbuemo gets his second of the game there, and it's 3-1 to Brentford. And I think it is just a step too far. I think a 6.2, a low 6 rating is very harsh for Sarmiento. He's worked really, really hard, won the ball in some good areas, but I think we needed this as just a little bit of a reality check. I mean, we absolutely leathered Millwall, who are winning their second game, so fair play to them for recovering that. But we probably just needed not that. We didn't need that. Lasse Sorensen gets an injury. I don't think we can make any subs. No, because we've made all of our subs. Okay. Munoz will go right back, and then Vardiol will just put down here and swap these around. Doesn't really work, doesn't really suit us, but it's only for the last couple of minutes, so it's fine. I didn't know Munoz could play right back, though. That's good to know. I'm sure he's not very good at it, but he can tackle, so at least he can do that. A 3-1 loss to Brentford. Yeah, we're not. This is a Premier League side. They're just down in the Championship. We are not a Premier League side now. I can see that we've had a bit of a reality check there just to kind of let us know, yeah, don't get too ahead of yourselves. That's fine. That's fine. So a 3-1 loss there. I think without the injuries, we maybe get a point. How bad's the Paz? Oh, these are bad injuries. These are quite a while. So some players are definitely going to get their chance. Okay, that's not too bad, but yeah, some players definitely going to get their chance. Franco Gonzalez, little Franco, is going to be out for 5 to 6 weeks, so Vardiol definitely going to get his chance. Nico Paz out for a month, and then Trivelli out for 2 weeks. Yeah, a couple of days for Sorensen. He should be back for the next game, so that's fine. But that definitely means we're going to have to make some changes to the front line. So Coburn can come in, Vardiol comes in, probably a B-Ray. Swap those around. Yeah, I think that's probably what we go with. So maybe we don't want to be selling players and loaning them out because it looks like we've got a few injuries. You're probably going to need them. So bit of a disappointing second game, but yeah, Brentford are expected to finish top. I'm not going to read too much into it. I'm not reading into too much of any of the results. Brentford are meant to finish top. They have a world-class goalkeeper, apparently, in the Championship. That just shows you. Centre-back, I mean, elite centre-back. They've got, they've got players worth 40 million. Southampton want them. You know what I mean? Like, Ivan Toney, he's still only 31. I didn't realise how young he was. He's leaving on a free transfer, apparently. We'll try and snap him up. Unlikely. And Buemo worth up to 86. I mean, look at these are Premier League players. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. These are Premier League players. So I'm not overly worried for it. I mean, even in this window, they paid 20 million for Malacia. Like, why's he joined them in the Championship? Paying 20 million for players in the Championship just shows where they're at. So yeah, not worried about it. I mean, they've got a great squad. It was always going to be a tough game. This isn't the games we need to be winning, so I'm not overly fussed about it. Before that, we had a very good start. I think we'll be okay. So mid-table, I think would be an okay run for us. As long as we just avoid a relegation battle, I think the board is going to be happy. So if we can try and push on and get into the top 6, great. But I'm not going to, worry about it too much. We are, season preview-wise, we are very much a mid-table side, so if we can finish up a mid-table, I'm not going to be too worried about it. But yeah, a decent start, but just need to keep an eye on that. I think we are probably a step away from those sides. But when we come back, I'm not sure where we'll come back, really. Should we... What will be a good game? Come back. I think we'll come back for Forest, Sheffield Wednesday. I feel like that's 2 teams that'll be up and around there, right? Yeah, both expected to finish high up, so that should be 2 tough fixtures, so probably a good one to come back for. So we'll play a lot of games, and we'll come back in and around early October for Forest and Wednesday. So that'll be when we come back, so we'll play around about 2 months of games. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of North to Prem, and I'll see you all for more very soon.